Hey guys, welcome back to another DC Extended Universe topic video, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit differently. In lieu of talking about anything major going on with the DC Extended Universe, mostly because there's not a whole lot to really discuss about it right now, I figured I'd take the time to do a top 5 video instead, and as the name suggests, it's based on the top 5 villains that I think would be perfect for the Justice League movie. And before anyone says anything about it, yes, I know about the supposed rumor right now that Steppenwolf will be the main villain, but that doesn't discredit this list because it's based on what I think would make for a pretty cool villain. With that being said, let's go ahead and kick off this list with Starro the Conqueror. Now, I know what you're thinking. You'd really want a giant starfish to be the villain for the cinematic debut of the Justice League. And yes, I would. For those of you that don't know, Starro the Conqueror first appeared in Brave and the Bold number 28 back in 1960, where he would do battle with a brand new team on the block, a little known group called the Justice League of America. Being that Starro was the first villain for the super team in their book, it would work as such a huge homage if he were to appear as the first villain for the team's cinematic debut as well. But besides just being a literal throwback to the Silver Age, Starro is just such a cool concept on his own. He's a giant starfish that uses other little starfishes to mind control the population of a planet to do his bidding. It works on many different levels, as we get a worldwide catastrophe with the Starro spores, the potential to see some hero-on-hero fighting due to those spores, along with some creepy imagery involving people in zombie-like trances with these little aliens on their faces. It sounds weird, but trust me, when you see it in the comics, it looks pretty creepy. Plus, most important of all, you don't have to worry about developing him as a character. I mean, it's Starro. It's a giant starfish. That's all you really need, really. Coming in at number 4, we have the Sinestro Corps. For many reasons, I consider Sinestro to be my favorite villain in all of the DC universe. His motivations, his methods, and just his relationship with the Green Lantern Corps really elevate him to the top of my list of favorite villains. So of course, I put him on this list. More than that though, Sinestro actually acts as a perfect contrast to the Justice League. In the comics, to me, the Justice League have always encompassed protection of freedom, and seek to preserve that freedom through acts of compassion and bravery. Sinestro in many ways has the same goal, but he seeks to protect the universe through order and stability, and his methods involve fear. It would actually be a pretty cool battle of ideals between the League and the Sinestro Corps, not to mention an awe-inspiring spectacle visual-wise. Unfortunately, this decision may not hold a lot of weight when we consider that Green Lantern won't be appearing in the first Justice League movie, so this dream's kinda busted already. But nevertheless, it's still a villain I thought would have been perfect. And number 3 goes to Ocean Master and the Atlanteans. I think ever since a Justice League movie was said to be in development, fans have been clamoring for some form of adaptation of the Throne of Atlantis storyline, and I honestly can't blame them. It's one of the best stories to come out of the New 52, and it added greatly to Aquaman as a character, gaining him many new fans. With Justice League coming out before the Aquaman movie on the DC Warner Bros. Film slate, I think an adaptation of Throne of Atlantis would put the universe in a really cool spot, and serve to develop Aquaman greatly in the DCEU. We'd basically have a team-up movie where the heroes have to fight another hero's own culture, and we'd see Aquaman put right in the middle of this huge conflict, having a debate whether he should side with humanity or his brother, Orm. While many people might make the comparisons between this and the first Avengers movie, I think this story could have the potential to be something truly touching character-wise, and would provide a really cool backdrop for the Aquaman solo film, and just the whole universe moving forward. And at number 2, we have Mongul and Warworld. Again, this is mostly favoritism talking, but I absolutely love Mongul as a villain. There's nothing inherently special about him per se, but it's more so just how devoted he is to conquering and causing devastation. There's just something about him as a villain that just makes him a joy to read. But this choice doesn't just act favoritism, but it holds story potential as well. For those of you that don't know, Mongul is a space tyrant in the DC universe that goes about conquering planets with the use of a special mass weapon called Warworld. The actual purpose of Warworld is different depending on continuities, so we'll tackle this from both perspectives. In the original design, Warworld is a planet-sized superweapon that Mongul himself can control completely, and this provides a reasonable threat for the Justice League to face. It's not the most exciting thing to go up against, but it can definitely provide some really cool action sequences in its own right, and it can really showcase to the audience the type of true terrors that exist throughout the cosmic side of the DC Extended Universe. In its second form, Warworld was presented as a super weapon, but one that housed a large gladiatorial arena where numerous creatures were forced to fight for the amusement of Mongul himself. This provides a much cooler premise to me, as it can act as a sort of rescue mission to save a member of the League from the war world, all while trying to keep the planet from destroying the Earth. Besides, who wouldn't want to see some Justice League members fighting in a gladiatorial match? Nobody, that's who. And number 1 goes to Brainiac. So before anyone states it, yes, this is a totally obvious choice, and it's one almost everyone else has been campaigning for since a Justice League movie was announced. But there's a good reason why. Brainiac is just awesome. Being one of Superman's most well-known foes, Brainiac is one of the most formidable villains in all of the DC universe, and possibly in comics in general. As a being of such immense stature, Brainiac lends itself to many different aspects in film. Brainiac has the potential to be one of the coolest looking comic book movie villains ever, with over 58 years of designs to mix and match. Not only that, but story-wise, Brainiac could provide us with such closure to the Superman arc of the DC Extended Universe, one that started all the way back in Man of Steel. With Brainiac in some comics being related to the Kryptonians, the movies could show us the development of Superman as he deals with the last remnant of his homeworld being the driving force behind the destruction of his new homeworld, and his internal struggle between learning more about who he could have been and who he is now. It would still be a Justice League movie, but it would finally give us a full end to the Superman story arc of the DC Extended Universe, and he can go on to be the Superman that we all know and love. Hopefully. If not, there would be some really cool fight scenes and visual imagery, so that evens it out. And those are the top 5 villains that I think would be perfect for the Justice League villain. Could Steppenwolf be taking the spotlight from them? Maybe so, but it's always fun to imagine what DC and Warner Brothers could do with all these neat characters at their disposal. But, as we always say, these are just my opinions, and what really matters here is what you guys have to say. If you don't agree with this list or your favorite villain was left out, go ahead and leave a comment down below sharing who you think would make a great villain for the Justice League movie. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, it really helps us out, and subscribe to the Hybrid Network for more of our original content, podcasts, and reviews as they come out. Thanks for listening guys, and we'll see you next time on the next DC Extended Universe topic video. Peace!